Greetings Facebook, greetings YouTube. Bror Fredrik coming at you with another live video. Spent a couple of, I wouldn't call them announcements, a couple things we can talk about. I was in Walmart and was listening to the governor's speech today, Governor of Nevada, Governor Sisolak, and he came up with some interesting things that we'll go over. But let's first talk about first things first. That collective noise that everyone heard this morning, what that was, that collective sigh, that was actually everyone looking at their emails this morning, finding out that the Raiders are going to play all their 2020 games without fans. So that let down a lot of people. So if you heard that collective sigh this morning, it was because of that. So the Raiders have chosen to play all their games 2020 without any fans whatsoever. That email came out today. There was an option in the bottom. You could either, if you paid in advance, you could apply that towards 2021, or you could request an email by emailing, I think it's Allegiant Stadium Services, I think, but check the email. I think I'll post it as well. So that was interesting. So I'm in Walmart, I'm listening to Governor Sisolak. Those two things, I mean, you know, Walmart's already a hassle, and then I got to listen to this guy, but I couldn't miss it. So what did he have to say? He didn't have a lot to say. The only thing that he was talking about was consequences and punishment. Consequences and punishment. You know, it's getting to the point. Yeah, I don't want to rag on it for the rest of this time that I got on this drive, but all he does is tell us what we're not doing. And if you look around, I went to the dollar store today. I went to El Super. I went to Walmart. I went to the gas station. I did a lot of chores today and went all over my building. Everywhere I went, people were masked. I bet this guy that we're passing right now, nope, he wasn't wearing a mask. But there's people in the streets wearing masks. We're going to pass a few here that aren't even required to wear masks. But this guy, Sisolak, continually tells us we're not doing enough. He said last week that he was going to give a weekly report of, let me fix that camera, that's better. He was going to give a weekly report of our actual numbers. That didn't happen. You know, all we heard was what I used to call the old razzle-dazzle. You know, the statistics of the metrics have been quantitatively combined with the analytical studies of the hypothesis. That's the bullshit that I heard in Walmart from our governor. That's all he had to say with things like that. No direct facts, because he didn't want to get called on the carpet for the mail-in voting thing. He didn't want to get called on the carpet for this, but he clearly stated last week that we were going to discuss numbers every week and statistics every week and see where we're going and see where we're heading. You know what he actually said? There's no plans for the future whatsoever. There's plans to go backwards, though. There's plans to regress businesses back to stage one if they don't start behaving. No plan to move forward. No phase 3. No, guess what? This week I decided that, you know, if you're lifting more than 600 pounds in your deadlifts, you don't have to wear a mask. Nothing positive about moving forward. You would think this was still April or May, or that people were dropping in the streets the way he was talking. No progress, no momentum forward, only threats of going backwards. That was the entire speech. No numbers, no statistics, no nothing, just the old razzle-dazzle. We're comparing the metric to the quantified statistics and all this other bullshit. And he also did some double speak on what he claimed last week, that industries themselves won't get punished, that it would be specific businesses, specific locations. Now he's saying county-wide. Now he's saying, we have to start looking at things on a county-wide level. So, at Clark County, we're kind of screwed, because if we're looking at things on a county level, that's all inclusive. I guess zip code by zip code went out the window. I guess individual enforcement is completely out the window. He was questioned about, unemployment. So a reporter actually had the balls to say what's going on with unemployment. And what he said was, instead of addressing why they haven't paid, why a judge had to step in and demand that everyone who deserves it gets paid, this guy, Sisolak, takes his typical tact. Instead of addressing that, he says, let's discuss the fraud that's going on first. I think there was a case where some guy had 21 IDs and we sent him 21 different cards. Well, that's your fucking problem. You go figure that out. That's no reason to deny the people who've been waiting for, 5 months their money. So right away, he goes into the corporal aspect of anything. Whenever he gets questioned, whenever, something comes up, it's about punishment and pain and consequences. He's going to feel pain at the voting booth when his time comes if he keeps this shit up. That's all. So the problem why people aren't getting paid isn't a problem he's going to address, but he's bringing in some very qualified people to help figure it out. But they're there to fix the fraud that's going on, not to release the funds to the people who actually deserve it. I don't know what makes that guy tick, but, he's like a bad parent. Nothing's going to be good enough. You're not wearing your mask good enough. You're not doing this good enough. Businesses aren't listening to me enough. And this is what I'm going to do to punish each and every one of you. And that was the gist of the entire shit show that he called his weekly press conference. Am I pissed? No. Do I sound pissed? Yes. It's just to be expected. I just expect more. Call me foolish, but I expect more. We're at a state now where things can start improving. Things can start opening up. We should have a positive goal. We should say, if you accomplish this, we're going to open that. If we're going to do this, we're going to do... But this guy refuses to have a march forward plan. He's just going to hold out, say what you want, and keep us in this state of disarray until after the election. That's so obviously the game plan. Why not release the numbers? Why talk about crap like, the metrics of the hypotenuse, equate to the demographic of, nobody wants to hear that nonsense. It just sounded absolutely freaking ridiculous. Just tell us what the numbers are. Tell us who's not complying. Tell us where there's not compliance. And then we can almost police ourselves. But, they kind of know it's all bullshit at this point. He's like, well, the properties are doing good for the most part. What does that even mean? Say something. Tell us what's going on. And he's like, well, if there was a specific pool that maybe people aren't wearing their masks and social distancing enough, so go and fucking deal with it. Don't make it the world's problem. Don't hold it over everyone's head. Oh, there's a pool somewhere on the strip that didn't have social distancing, so this shit's got to go on another month. That's who we got leading us. I think each and every one of you, what is that, 38 people listening? I bet each and every one of you, 38, can do a better job than this guy. From housewife to executive. I mean, it just doesn't even make sense. So he's so obviously on an agenda. It's mind-boggling. If you don't see it by now, But it's all about our health and our safety as our financial futures go down the toilet. But anyway, let me go off that rant. I didn't plan on ranting about that. So if you want a summary, if you're tuning in late, nothing's changing. We had a threat. Our governor threatened to take us back to phase 1. And that was pretty much it. That was the crux of it. He's like, 99.9% of people are obeying me, and we have a few holdouts, so we might go back to curbside delivery and shut down all the malls again. That's what he said. So, he wants us, I guess, to beat the crap out of our neighbors if we see them without a mask or something, but it's not about that. It's so obvious it's not about that. I don't think I've ever even been down here. What the hell is this? Concrete plant? I don't know. Whatever, I'm just driving. I'm kind of annoyed. Anyhow, so that's what we heard today. And what else do we have to talk about? We had to talk about the Raiders. If you didn't, now I know where we are. I'm on Hacienda. I completely lost track. You want to take a quick drive? Let's take a quick drive. We can just bop right in there right now. This will change the mood. This will get me out of my funk I was just in. This place is pretty awesome. If you didn't see the glorious 4K yet, I put that up yesterday, and that is probably one of my most popular videos. A little bit of a contentious video. Football being what it is allegiances. Someone came up with a great name for this place, Big Al. The Raider fans already call it the Death Star. So we're going to cruise right into the parking lot now. Alright, now I'm in a better mood. Screw this Sisolak, dude. We just all gotta do what we gotta do. We all are doing what we have to do. It's just a matter of him seeing it. This is how simple it is to get into this stadium. Watch this. Bada bing. Bada boom. Legion Stadium. Oh, they got it closed off today. What? Let's see if this one is closed off. Dang. Yesterday, these were all open. Wow, it smells like skunk over here. Oh, I'm glad I got here yesterday. Let's see. Oh, we have a viable entrance. Let's do this. So, it is still open. More cars than yesterday. 2 days ago. That was brutal 2 days ago. 116 or 118, I think it was. Let me pull around and give you a real good look at this place if you haven't seen the videos yet. Let me get as far away as I can. Swing around. Let's go. Still can't see it. If you haven't been here, this is just absolutely mind-blowing. It's enormous. I'm sitting here under this thing, 300 feet away, and I can't even see the whole thing. Let me take you off the stand here. Look how huge this place is. All of these entrances, if you didn't watch the videos, I'll give you a quick summary. And that'll take my mind off. Still got you there? Okay, that'll take my mind off what I heard today from Sisolak. All these entrances, there's individual entrances all over the place. They're all co-branded. Ford, let's see, who else? Who else did I see? Ticketmaster, that's a co-brand. No, I'm not ready to leave yet. We'll go around the front. Let's see. MGM is another one. So MGM, how they're solving... Ooh, they got that closed off. That's interesting. That wasn't there yesterday. How they're solving the parking problem is they're running a lot of shuttles. They're running specific shuttles from all the MGM properties. They're running specific shuttles from all Caesars properties, and I'm sure there's other shuttles. I've heard of shuttle locations that they're going to be putting up even for locals. So that is how they're going to handle. Let's see if I can park over here. Nah, maybe not. That's how they're going to handle the parking situation, because you can see these parking lots are not big. There's a small one here. This is actually a taste of another one right here. There's like 4 parking lots, and they're not that big. Maybe 1,000 cars, 2,000 cars at best. Look at that. But anyway, there's going to be shuttles. There's going to be shuttles from the properties. There's going to be shuttles for locals. There's going to be shuttles upon shuttles upon shuttles. So there's going to be absolutely no problem getting in there. I mean, I don't think you're going to have to take Ubers and all that. So I was wondering how they were going to solve that problem. But there's also the parking lot ends right here. Yesterday, these were all open. This is the end of the parking lot. Couple thousand cars, no designated. I got some arguments and comments about it. There is no designated in these parking lots, no designated RV parking, and there's no designated tailgating area. From what I've heard, and I've read between the lines, and I've read the language and the verbiage of all the statements, there is not going to be tailgating right there, and everyone thinks there is, but there's not going to be tailgating right by the actual stadium itself. If it's allowed, it's going to be off-site and up to the owners of these off-site properties whether they're going to allow it or not. Now, I'm just going further and further. I don't plan on going to Henderson, so I'm going to spin around real quick. So if you got any comments about what you heard and how you interpreted Sisolak, I'd be curious to hear them, but I think we're all in unison right now in saying that, you know, it's getting to the point of bullshit already. Nice sunset. You know, there's nothing more that any of us can do. So at this point, and the fact that he couldn't produce, or he chose not to produce any numbers, he avoided that. He avoided deeper questions. He said that, you know, mail-in voting, he signed it because he wants to keep us safe, and he feels anyone who's against online voting is trying to steal your vote. So, you know, he's following the party line with that. So I'm curious. And he has 100, isn't that beautiful? He has 100% confidence in the postal service. 100%. Because he said they were perfect. I don't know. I've received a couple of crushed packages, and they've lost a decent amount of my shit. You know, they're pretty good at delivering junk mail, but into my postal box. But whatever. He's got 100% confidence in the United States Postal Service. That's awesome. He's probably the only one. Anyway, love to hear your opinions. You can post them below. Don't fight. Okay, this is political, but, you know, it's also based on fact. It is a beautiful night. Look at that. Tomorrow morning, the 4K video of Miracle Mile is coming out. And that place actually surprised me because it was doing pretty good. Someone came up with a good idea today in the comments on YouTube that I should give the time of day that I've been visiting some of these places. And that's what I'm going to start doing, actually. I visited there right before closing, and I was honestly pretty surprised at the amount of people there, because obviously Planet Hollywood is not open, and so that means people just went out of their way, a special trip, just to go see the Miracle Mile shops, and they did, and they were spending money, and all the restaurants were doing business. I mean, it's not packed. When I say it was good or it was busy. It's relative. We're talking like phase 2, past couple of months busy. I'm not talking about, go back. I'm not making a comparison to back, in real life, making comparisons over the past since, we've been able to open again. So always bear that in mind when I call something busy. Busy by today's standards would be, tragic by, 8 months ago standards. So it was pretty busy, but people were spending money. They were having a good time. None of the shows are open. The Alara was doing pretty good. The timeshare over there, that had tons of people checking in. And that video came out good. Got a little voiceover work to do, and that will be out tomorrow. So I appreciate all the new subscribers. I appreciate all the new followers. I appreciate all the comments. Even the dumb ones, I'll cut you a break on that too. Those are kind of funny. I like when you guys kind of troll me, but you got to just work harder. I'm not easy to troll. But anyway, I appreciate everyone coming along for the ride. And on that note, Bror, Fredrik out.